Hey, in this episode of Ask Aaron, I'm going to dispel one of the biggest myths with SEO, and that is that it takes years to see any kind of results. It's going to be fun. Let's get into it. SEO is fantastic. So many brands know that it's hugely valuable, but one of the most common sort of misconceptions about SEO is it's great, but it's a long-term strategy and it's going to take years before we see any kind of results. And sometimes that is the case. But SEO doesn't have to take years, and certainly to start to see some improvements, to start to see some growth, to start to see a return, it absolutely does not and should not take years. Far from it. We've got a client that we've been working with for a few months now, and one of the catalysts for thinking I would add this as an Ask Aaron video is because we're 6 months into that campaign. We've just done our first full sort of review and audit of that account, and after 6 months, they are seeing some unbelievable improvements to their SEO, to their organic visibility. We've got keywords, commercial keywords that are these are money terms that have gone from page 3, page 4 of Google to page 1. I mean, we don't track keywords in the conventional sense. We focus more on topics than we do keywords, and I've done other videos on that. So if you're not sure what that is, I'll include the link below to that video. But within whole topics, so topic clusters, so that might feature 10, 15, 20 keywords that are all keywords ran within a topic. We're seeing topics for this particular e-commerce brand, a very well-known brand, a very established brand with both online and offline stores and everything. We are seeing their organic visibility has increased massively, and we're seeing on average their keywords have gone from page 5. And we've got whole groups of keywords that have moved from page 4 and page 5 of Google to page 1 and page 2 within 6 months. And we're seeing keywords that have gone from page 3 and page 4 to now page 1. And some of them are in the top 2, top 3 listings within 6 months. The client is absolutely blown away, and the team are really chuffed, and we've been sharing it internally and going, isn't this amazing? And it's just an example, and it really highlighted once again that actually SEO, it doesn't have to take years to see results. Far from it. What I want to do in this video is just really give you a few things and a few things that you can take and think about and deploy into your brand, into your business, that will help your SEO, that will ensure that it doesn't take years, that you're talking weeks and months rather than years. So what are some of the things you can do? The first thing is, and the biggest thing that we encourage all of our brands to do, is focus on the user, not the search engine. When it comes to SEO, everyone loves to get really het up about, well, how do we optimize for Google, and how do we do this and how do we do that? And what we always say, we keep things really, really simple. There's a great analogy called KISS, which is keep it simple, stupid. I love that. That's what we try and do, is just try and keep things really, really simple. And what we mean by focus on the user is when you look at your website, forget about Google, forget Google even exists, right? If you want some quick wins for your SEO, critique your own website. So go onto your website as if it's the first time you've ever been on it, right? And ask yourself, and if better yet, do it yourself and get your family members or friends or people that don't really know your product or what you do, or, get them to go onto your website. There are ways you can do this. You can pay people to do sort of, reports on it. But just in the here and now, the quickest way to do it is either do it yourself or get someone to just say, go on our website. What do you think? How easy is it to navigate? Can you find the products? Give them, can you go and find X product? Can you go and find more about what we do here, or what this means, or whatever it matters for your business? But critique it and be critical of your own website. How easy is it to find things? Is it clear what you're offering and how to navigate and where to find things? And often brands get so focused on just, we've got to do the SEO, and we've got to do this, and then we've got to do that they don't actually stop and look and go, but actually our website is not particularly intuitive. It's not very user-friendly. And often within those first sort of 3 or 4 months with some of our clients, we're making wholesale changes to the navigation. We're improving the usability. We're just making stuff easier to find. We're removing some of the layers. You no longer have to do 4 or 5 clicks to find a product. You can find that product in 1 click. That's a much better thing, and that makes your SEO so much better, and you can improve visibility by leveraging more of those people that are already on your website. It's very, very simple to do, and we do it all the time. Another thing you can do is compare your website to competitors. And this again is so obvious, but people don't do this, right? And what we literally will do is we will get your website up on a screen and your competitor's website up on a screen, and we'll use them, and we'll scroll down them, we'll click around, and we'll go, well, what do they do? Especially if we know that they are ranked, more highly than you are. we will go, well, what are they doing? And how's their nav working and their navigation? And where are this product? And how do we find that? And how do we get in contact with their customer service team? And where is this located? And how do we find more information? And how do we get the FAQs or whatever it might be? And, okay, that's much easier. I can find that in 5 seconds, whereas this, it's taken me 10, 15, 20 seconds to find the same thing. So you can draw some really useful, very quick, okay, that's what we can do. And these are some of the things that we do for all of our clients in those first few weeks, first few months. One of the other big things that we love to do, and you can absolutely do this, and with all of my Ask Every videos, what I want to do is make it so that you can think, I can take that and I can go and do it now. The real success of me with these videos is that you can literally pause the video, go and do it, come back and go, yeah, found that. Oh, I love that stuff. That's amazing. This is one of those examples. So Google Search Console, I would hope you've got that set up. If you have, you can go into Google Search Console, you can filter by the country where most of your sales, so let's say most of your sales are coming from the UK. Filter by the UK firstly, then you'll see in the top box, you go into the performance dashboard, you've got pages. Go into your pages, order by clicks, impressions, whatever, and have a look at those top pages. Now your homepage will probably be the top one, sort of discount that, but then look at your products, look at your categories, look at your blog posts, look at your resources, your FAQ pages, look at the content, the pages that's coming up where there's lots of impressions and relatively few clicks, because that is Google saying there's lots of potential for this page. Those searches, you're coming up, but if you switch on the 4 little tabs at the top of Google Search Console, it will show you your average position. And often we see it every single day, is where we'll see a page or a product or a category of product, and it will say, well, you've had 100,000 impressions in the last 12 months or the last 6 months for this, but you've only had 500 clicks. That's Google saying, well, there's 100,000 potential possible customers that have searched for, or the times you have come up in the search results, and you've only actually had a tiny proportion of that number that have actually found the website. And then you'll look across the line and it'll be, say, because your average position is 13 or 15. And so that's telling you you're on page 2 on average. Once you go in and you focus that, and then you sort of overlay, right, well, from a business, that product matters more than this one. Once you do that stuff, what you're able to do is go in and just focus on that category, focus on that product, and go, well, okay, well, if I look at this product, does it tell me what it is? Is it easy to find on the website? How can I get, can I reach it? Is it very intuitive if I put myself in the position of our target customer? And then what you can do, the real kicker, is go and think, okay, well, I found that. It took 3 clicks to find it, and I did this and I did that. Then what you can do is you can go and compare it to your competitors. Go onto their website. Well, how easy is it to find their product? And how many clicks have I got to do? And where is it? And have they got better information than I've got? And is it more up to date? Is it more relevant? Is it more actionable? Are they doing a better job of selling that product to the user, not to the search engine? Forget about trying to optimize for Google. Are they doing a better job at selling that product than we are? Oh yeah, I like that. I'm gonna take that idea, go and improve it, go and deploy it into my brand. And you could do this stuff now. And this is the things that we are doing for our clients, which is meaning that their SEO is not taking years. We're not we're not worrying about thinking, well, you're not gonna see any return. Our clients are seeing 20, 30, 40% year-on-year growth, or we're up massively. I'm gonna do another video more specifically on this brand that I mentioned, because 6 months in, their organic traffic in 6 months has increased by more than 100%. And this is not from a baseline, this is from a relatively high traffic. So they're already, very established and they're getting some good numbers. So to increase that by 100% is going some. We've done that in 6 months. And it's because we've addressed these things. By going into GSC or Google Search Console and having a look at the pages and going, well, actually, there's a lot of potential for that page. Right, what can we do? Let's compare to okay, well, that's clever. They're doing that. We need to take that. We need to work out, that's given us ideas. What can we're not going to copy, but we can think, oh, we're missing a trick here. We haven't done this. We can do this. Or actually, that product's really popular, but we've buried it 4 clicks deep. Like, we need to bring that to the surface. We need to rejig our navs. Some of the things you can do in those first 2 or 3 months, give Google a couple of months, a few weeks to sort of re-index it. Boom, you're off to the races. Very, very powerful stuff, and means that your SEO doesn't take years. So in addition to Google Search Console, another tool that you can absolutely use for those quick SEO wins is Google Analytics, or GA4 as it now is. Familiarizing yourself with where everything is in GA4 is the first thing. Brands are still sort of a bit fingers and thumbs with it. But once you're familiar with where everything is, then what you can do is, and this is another real quick win that we do all the time, look at how users are engaging with the site. Again, it's all about users. You notice I'm never talking about the search engine or optimizing for Google or the algorithm. No, focus on the user, focus on the customer. Look at how the customer is interacting, particularly around the checkout process. So the add to basket, the add to cart, the checkout flow. It's one of the key things we will go into week one of a campaign every time is we'll go straight into the checkout area and go, right, how many steps is the checkout? What sort of drop off are we seeing? So of every 100 people that add the product to the basket, how many then go to the, to the add details page? How many go through to the, the confirmation page, etc., etc. And just understanding that. And we do this, and literally we have team members sit in the office and do this, and we do it on mobile, we do it on desktop, we do it on iPad, is go through that checkout process yourself. Go through it and actually so you can understand firsthand what are the pain points, what doesn't work. Oh, okay, well that's really awkward, or that you're repeating, you have to put the same information in twice, or this doesn't work, or there's a broken button there, or this is an issue, or that image doesn't quite fit there, or it's too convoluted, there's too much noise on this page. These are literally the things that we see every single time. And so we will, as part of our initial sort of auditing and recommendations, be slim this down, remove that step, clear the clutter, update this, fix that, stuff like that. And what you're doing, that means your SEO is improving because suddenly you're getting more revenue hitting the bottom line. Not because you're driving loads more people to the website, but actually because you're just making it that much easier to check out. And you can increase your checkout by 0.5%, by 1%. If you're an established brand, that can have a sizable impact on your revenue. And we have literally made ourselves look incredibly good. We've done this so many times. We've given our clients these little evergreen wows, we call them. And we've been able to do this because what we've done is we've been able to note that, okay, well, we're pretty confident having seen that checkout process, it's a bit cumbersome, or there's too many steps, or we're having to put the information in twice, clean that up, and then suddenly you're removing a pain point, more people can check out more easily, more seamlessly, you're off to the races. And again, it's always that means your SEO, the number of people buying for your product, people checking out, all of these things are done in days, weeks, and the first few months, not months and months, years down the line. And I think so many brands get really focused in, well, the SEO, it sounds great on paper, but it's going to take years. And we look at it and we go, well, the overarching strategy, yes, that's going to take some time to really sort of flourish and but that does not mean there's not lots of quick wins and things you absolutely can be doing to really ramp things up in those first few weeks. The last sort of tip is really just get the tech basics in place. Now, you will need a developer, you will ideally need an expert, someone who knows what they're doing. And I don't make my videos particularly technical because I like to keep them really actionable. You can take these stuff and go and deploy it into your brand. But there's 3 or 4 areas what I mean by just check that you've got your ducks in a row. The first is simply around making sure the website's fast enough, right? There's nowhere near the talk around speed that there was in years gone by, but just basically make sure, ask your devs, if we've got good site speed, if your website's taking 10 seconds to load, that is obviously going to be a big problem. So just making sure your speed is good. There are various checks, there are Pingdom, GT metrics, there's loads of tools, free tools you can use. Pop your URL in, it'll run them and do its thing. You can also ask, whoever supports you from a website tech stack perspective, how do we compare to our competitors? That's what first thing. The second thing, and again, these are more technical now, so bear with me, but the second thing is around indexation. The third element is around crawlability. Basically, what I'm saying with that is make sure that from the outset, you're not making your website really difficult for a search engine to crawl. So most of what I've just covered over the last few minutes has been about making it really easy for the user. You'll notice 90% of what I'm talking about is about the user. The last 10% is just make sure that from a crawlability standpoint, from a how Google is going to crawl the website and kind of go, okay, well, this is this. Make sure that you're not blocking the search engines. Make sure that you have a sitemap, which is basically an index. Think of it as like an index of a book. It's the hierarchy of your website. Make sure Google has a sitemap, an XML sitemap, which is what it will use, as well as a HTML sitemap, which is what a user will use to really go, oh, okay, well, that's where that is. That's what's on the site, etc., etc. So really, speed, indexation, make sure there's no Google, you're not blocking Google. We've seen that before. The horror stories I could share. And then the crawlability that Google can see and essentially index and chew on everything that you want it to be able to see. Believe me, I promise you, I've been doing this long enough. SEO does not have to take years. I have calls with clients all the time where we're reiterating them before they become a client, and then when we're talking to them at 3, 6, 9 months in, and we're going, well, yeah, this is what we do. You're seeing the improvements because we're building a long-term SEO strategy, yes, but that does not mean you cannot have quick wins in, month 1, month 3, month 6. Well, it's how we're able to give our clients these little evergreen wows, as we call them. It enables us to deliver great results, and it gives that client, your boss, it gives your teams that confidence that, okay, the SEO is working. Yes, it's a long-term strategy, but we're getting some quick wins. So take those things, go and check your website, look at GA, it's Google Analytics, look at GSC, pull up your site versus your competitors, run through the checkout process, make sure and ask yourself, is it easy to use? Can I find everything I want? Is it all very accessible? Because if it's not, that's where you can start, and you can do this stuff very, very quickly. Hope it's useful. Thank you so much for sticking with me and watching this one. It's been good fun. So I'll leave it there, and do remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.